Welcome back to the channel. This is Videl, from a guy who doesn't matter and that you should probably never listen to. So as of right now, Videl is probably my best character, but I know I only get away with stuff because of matchup unfamiliarity, because no one knows how to play against her, because nobody plays her, and I don't like that. So everything I'm suggesting is in service of making her a more played character, so I can see if I'm actually good with her, or if I get freebies because people don't know you have to stand block her Rekka. So this isn't for me, this is for you. So as of right now, Videl really has no place on the team. Like, she has no good round start options. She has no good meterless round start options. She has okay assists, none of them are great. Her damage isn't great compared to the rest of the cast. I mean, she's execution heavy, which is okay, but it's just too much work for the same amount of damage that others do easily. She has bad meter game plus expensive defensive options. Her mix-up is exploitable. Like, pretty much everything she does can be 2H'd. She needs assists to make her safe. Like, these things don't make her a bad character. They just demonstrate that she has nowhere that she really fits in, which is maybe why I relate to her so much. With this wish list, or these things I'm suggesting, we're going to turn her into a solid anchor with the stuff I'm about to say. Because right now, her Rekka shenanigans are scary to block, but with these changes, we're going to make her scary to hit too. So, she's obviously not all bad, or I wouldn't play her. Well, maybe I still would just because I love her. I just love her character. She's so great. But her upsides are, she has this great mix-up. Her Rekka has more layers than a parfait. She has good movement options, great air mobility. She's good versus the top tiers, or a few top tiers. Mostly like characters that are more Ki Blast heavy. She's really good against Ki Blast heavy characters. She's good versus system mechanics, and she's got the great Man. Although, some of her weaknesses are, her mix-up is exploitable, like I said. She doesn't have a reflect, which isn't a huge problem, because spot dodge lets you punish easier than reflect, but she doesn't have a cheap, effective get-off-me option to make up for it. It does have a DP, but it has so much recovery, it would be more effective to just go AFK and make yourself a PB&J than try to use it in a match. And she has too much execution for too little return compared to other characters. And another one of her weaknesses is Great Man. Yeah, I know I said he was an upside, but he's also one of her weaknesses too. It's possible to be both, and he is definitely that. Her main, what it boils down to, she takes too much effort, she uses too many resources, and she has to take too many risks, all for not enough return. So she's not a bad character, she just needs a few tweaks. So let's just talk about what makes her unique and what it seems like they were trying to do with her, and maybe we can kind of capitalize off of that. So right now she has good wall carry, which is, not something that everybody has, but everyone can side switch without using meter, so good wall carry is kind of a moot point. Who really cares? Her auto combo side switches, but there are other ways to side switch that also don't take bars, so yet again, who really cares? Man is supposed to make the other player feel like they're getting tag team, but your movement options and everything are just so limited when he's on the field. It feels more like you're fighting against him than with him. Man, I've got so much to say about you. But it makes sense, because if these were canon fights, Videl wouldn't stand a chance against any of these people. And so it makes sense that instead of being a threat in and of herself, her character is designed around conditioning your opponent and then capitalizing off of their mistakes. But that doesn't really work, because none of her options really lead to big payoffs. Both her defensive options take all recoverable life, and her DP, which can be converted for a full combo, can get you killed just as easily. So it's not that great either. She has more defensive options than the average character, but they all suck in their own way. So, yeah, she could use some help. Her moves are good, but only for specific situations, and they don't really allow for as much player creativity as a character like her should. That she's a well-rounded character, but what she is supposed to be good at, she's not good enough at to make her worth playing to most people. So this is what we're going to do. This is what we're doing. We're going to turn her into an anchor. We're going to make her scary to hit, which it kind of seems like developers were trying to do in the first place. Or maybe they just gave her all those defensive options so no one would complain about her not having to reflect, which obviously worked perfectly because no one complains about that. We're going to tweak how a couple of her moves work. One in particular, we're going to make OD. Whatever that means. Is it its own word? Is it an acronym? Am I a boomer? I don't know. So, and we're also going to give her moves more usability and give her more options to dump meter. I know it sounds like we're going to turn her into a top tier, but believe me, after all of this, she is still going to be, well, we're going to get her to middle of the road. She's not going to be the best character in the game. She will be, maybe she'll finally make it to S tier or S minus tier or one of these A tier. I don't know. But this is what we're not going to do. We're not going to break her and make her the best character in the game. No one wants to play Dragon Ball FighterZ where Videl is shaping the meta. No one wants to play that. We're also not going to take any of her weaknesses away. She's still going to be just as 2Hable as she is now. We're not going to give her any new moves or change any of her frame data, mostly. We're not going to change how much any of her moves cost to use. We're not buffing her damage, except in one particular case. And we're also not giving her reflect. I know, that's all anyone wants, but I think she's a much more interesting character without it. Because her whole game plan is built around getting in on people, so reflecting them away once they're there would be the antithesis of her character design. So with all that said, what are we going to do? So, make Videl great again. Or for the first time. For once. So we're going to change her moonsault kick. I love this move. I love it so much, but it only has there's only one reason to use it. You use it to mix up, which is fine, but it's just, it could be so much more. So what we're going to do is give the first 4 frames of her moonsault kick invincibility. So it's going to be invincible for the first 4 frames. Now, instead of just using it to mix up, it can be used as a cross-up DP or to avoid super dash. It doesn't hit super dash. You can't use it and hit people and expect to get a combo after. It just gets you away for free if you time it right. You can still get hit if you do it too early, but if you use the invincibility frames and you use it at the right time, you can get away for free. So now, with her regular DP and the moonsault kick now, she has 2 DPs, both of which can be 2H'd, but have to be blocked from different sides. So if she does her regular DP, you block it and 2H her, or you block it, she vanishes and you 2H her, or she does a moonsault kick and you 2H her. So she's still not great, but it gives her another option. And the EX moonsault kick in the air should be special cancelable. Only in the air, and I'm saying only the EX, but maybe the other ones will be fine too. It's just that it's the most dangerous move to throw out in neutral because it leaves you in free fall until you hit the ground. And it doesn't even hit opponents that are in the air, so it's almost pointless to use, except when you're like an inch away from them. But with it being special cancelable, you could use it to bait out attacks. So I can moonsault kick and then Videl rush while I'm in the air. So if someone was trying to super dash me when they saw me throw out the moonsault kick, all I got to do is Videl Rush, I'm not going to get a full combo off of it, or if I do, I got to use a Vanish, so it's going to be scaled more. But with it being super cancelable, it can be used to bait out attacks who can be punished, or just use it to recover more safely after a missed input, because I've done that too many times. But doing it 2 times in a row would still leave you in the same free fall state it does now. Because if you could just keep doing it over and over, that would be even more annoying than she is now. Next, make her counter super cancelable. So you can cancel out of her counter super into her level 1 or her level 2. Now I would say make it special cancelable, so that you could Videl Rush or, Moonsault Kick after if you wanted to. But I'm really trying hard not to completely break her. And if you could special cancel her counter, she would have counter combo solo TODs and be the best character in the game. And that's not what I want. So she can cancel her level 1, or she can cancel into her level 1 or her level 3. Canceling into her level 1 lets her DHC into her teammates, which will let her dump either 6 or 7 bars depending on what characters you have off of one counter. Or she could dump 5 bars if she's by herself. I told you we were going to make her scary to hit. So if she could super cancel her counter super, then she could combo off of it and get more damage when she's by herself. Because if you do a counter when she's by herself right now, you level up Gohan, but that's it. I get nothing else for countering, which it would be nice if I could do something after. But if you cancel it with the super, you still wouldn't get the level up. Just how it works now. If the Saiyaman doesn't do his little dance, you don't get a power up. So now you just have the option to, if there's people, if you still have teammates, you can special cancel the super and then DHC into another character. You can just do the counter and take the buff. Or your next option now would be counter super into, say, her level 1, and then you could keep comboing after that, which would make her a much more effective anchor and actually give her a place on the team. Also, let her special cancel, not super cancel, let her special cancel her dodge on a successful dodge. Right now, her dodge, I like it, it's fine, but it could definitely be better. She doesn't have reflect, which I don't mind, but if she could special cancel out of a successful dodge, you could use either Videl Rush or Justice combo to get out of the situation. You could block, you could dodge again, or you could use one of her 2 DPs to try to take your turn back. So now, on a successful dodge, instead of her just being stuck in place and not being able to do anything, it's a rock, paper, scissors now where you have more options and the defender doesn't know what you're going to do. Again, making her more scary to hit. Just giving her something to help her out. So, also I would say increase her meter gain, because she just has terrible meter gain. It's sad how little meter she gets. I'm not sure if you get meter based on how many hits you get or what, but her meter gain is just terrible and needs to be increased. And also, if we're going to give her to where she can super cancel out of her counter super, then her super damage needs to be scaled when using more than one super in a combo. I know it already does, but it would probably have to be scaled just a little bit more, just because she'd be able to dump so much bar that if I could counter super, then level 1, do my combo, and then do a level 3 at the end of it, that's a lot of damage. No, that's too much. So scale her super damage when she's using multiples in one combo, which seems fair. And so really that's it for her. I mean, we've got Saiyaman to talk about, but really just give her Moonsault 4 frames of invincibility at the beginning. Let her super cancel her counter super, and let her super cancel after a successful dodge. And that's three things that are going to make her into a much better character already. Just immensely better. That being said, we've got Say a Man to talk about. The one and only. And honestly, I feel like just keep Say a Man the same. Kinda. I have so many complaints about the weird interactions that Say a Man has. Like him going through Key Blast, which is fine, but then completely bouncing off a Gotenks ghost without even exploding one? Like, okay. Or him just completely whiffing Goku and hit in certain situations? That's it's terrible, but it's fine, you know? If there's certain characters where I say, okay, I can't use this one move against them, that's okay. I can use it against the whole rest of the other cast. Just one or two characters is not a big deal. It's probably more than that, but so for the most part, I'm saying just keep Say a Man the same. I could say, do something to him so that I at least go back to neutral and not let my opponent get a full punish. But Say a Man sucks in the show, so it's only right that he sucks in the game too. Alright, so make Say a Man great again. Or for once. Finally. So this has to be his counter level, the Videl's counter level 1 with the Great Say a Man. When he hits you, it should do all non-recoverable damage. As of right now, if you get hit with Videl's counter level 1 when a Say a Man hits you, all of that damage he does is recoverable. That doesn't make sense. I don't like that. It's too risky and it costs too much bar for the opponent to be able to recover all of that life. And if you DHC into another character, all of that damage is also recoverable, which makes no sense because if I were to do a raw super, it wouldn't be recoverable damage. So why is it that after a counter super, if I DHC, all the damage I do for the rest of the combo, all of the damage is recoverable? I don't like that. It costs too much bar. It's too risky for them to be able to get all of that back. It's like you're being punished for correctly calling out your opponent. It just doesn't make sense. And so, this is the one time where I would say, increase his base damage, increase Say a Man's base damage, or increase how much he gets when he's powered up. Because as of right now, and especially if any of these changes were made, powering up Say a Man is more of a flex than a strategic decision. He does so little extra damage that if I have another character alive and my options are to get an extra 150 damage when he hits, which is going to scale anyway, or get extra damage now and switch Videl out, 9 times out of 10 I'm going to switch Videl out because I have almost no incentive to power him up. 150 damage is not that much of an increase. So either let him do 1,000 out the gate and then let him go up to, say, 1,100, or keep him at 850 now, but then increase it to 1,100 or 1,150, because as of right now, there's really no reason for me to let Say a Man do his thing because there's just not much incentive to do it. I can get more damage now and switch Videl out. Why would I do anything else? I mean, why would I take that extra 150 damage as opposed to, the damage from a whole nother super? You see what I'm saying? Yet again, she just takes too many risks and too much resources for not enough return. That's pretty much what her character is. I have to use a bar to counter. They can recover all of that, and all I get is an extra 150 damage. Just make them better. Just make Say a Man better. You still wouldn't get the power up if you chose to super cancel, like I said earlier. And just improve the tracking on the air to us by 10%, or increase his hitbox by 10-20%, Or maybe give him less startup frames or something, because right now Air 2S just misses way too easily. It's just way too many situations where it's Air down S, the Saiyaman just comes out and he just completely whiffs the person, and it's like, well, what was the point of doing that? All I did was put myself in frame disadvantage for no reason. I don't like it. So she doesn't, and she shouldn't do as much damage as the rest of the cast without more work. But to make up for it, she has to have more options that allow her to move around the screen more freely and the other characters more freely. And even with all this, she still wouldn't be a top tier character. She would be better, and maybe people would actually pick her. But as of right now, I see why people rank her so low. And even if she still didn't have a reflect, I think she would still be a great character if all of this was done. So the point of this whole thing is, make Videl great again. Or, for once. This has been Videl, from a guy who doesn't matter and you should probably never listen to.